Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lauren. Today I'm going to be telling you guys what you need to know before you get a reading. So if you've never had a reading before, don't be worried, don't be afraid. It is painless, I swear. I think that there's a lot of fear around getting your first reading just because you don't understand what the process looks like. And somebody's getting into your deep shit, supposedly, and it can be freaky, and you don't understand what's going to happen or what's going to go on or what you need to do. It can be stressful. So today I thought I'd tell you what I would want from a client if I were seeing them, what I would want them to know before seeing me. So when you're reaching out to a psychic, one of the first things I would suggest doing is asking them about their process. This is a really easy way for them to be like, oh, sure, let me tell you how it goes. Mine is, we're going to sit there, we're going to chat a little bit. I'm going to lead you through a teeny tiny brief meditation, and then we're going to go straight into your questions. It's a conversation, yada, yada, yada. At the end, this is what happens, and then we'll get your payment squared away, and we're all good and set to go. And so usually that eases a lot of people's minds. I even do that at the beginning of readings when it's their first time getting a reading, just to, make them relax. Because if you're not relaxed, then it's a lot harder for me to read you. So you can always ask their process up front. And don't be surprised if it's not much of a conversation. All you really need to know is when and where it's going to happen and how much it's going to cost. But some of the things that I try not to do is talk in detail about what you want to talk about in the reading, because I don't want to pick up information beforehand. Because if I'm talking to you a week beforehand and I'm like, okay, I'm already picking up things and it's bothering me and I'm getting so much information, I want to, turn off my psychic ability, and I want to make sure I'm not reading you for the whole week up until you're reading. And that's usually just to set my own boundaries and to make sure that I'm not getting bothered by your stuff. So a lot of psychics are like that. So don't be surprised if they're like, no, let's not talk about it right now. Let's talk about it later. It's not a sign of that they don't care. It's usually that they don't want to pick up on it right then and there, and be ruminating on it up until you're reading. So as far as payment goes, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people call me up and say, hey, can you just answer one question for me? You're basically asking for a reading for free at that point. And I don't think that's very fair to do to anybody, to ask them to do anything for free. Just know that a lot of psychics out there, it's not, this is a full-time job still. In a way, we have to prepare all the time in between readings. We constantly have to be practicing our intuitive abilities. We constantly have to be strengthening them. And, there's times when life is too busy and we can't do that. And so we can't, it's not a good time to offer readings. So know that there's a lot of side work that goes into doing what we do. We have to meditate often. We have to do our own self-work. We have to take care of ourselves in order to be a vessel to provide a message to you. And so that's why I think it's really important not to ever ask a psychic to do something for free unless they are already doing so. Another tip that I have is to go into the readings being open. If you are open, if you are already accepting the fact of I'm getting read, it makes you a lot easier to read. Again, don't stress out about this too much. It's more of an intention of I'm willing to let you read me. I think what's worse is when somebody comes in and they kind of are like, they have this mindset of, I don't know what this is, this freaks me out, and they're unintentionally putting up a wall, and that's a lot harder for psychics to get through and to read because you're unintentionally closing yourself off. And so it's really important to just be open so that it makes it easier to read, and this benefits you because you're going to get a lot clearer information and more information when you're more open. Another thing I would say for a reading is to have your questions ready to go. And if you don't have questions, you can always have the question of, what do I need to know right now? What do I need to watch out for? Having something gives your gives your psychic enough to go off of that they can start the reading. And usually a psychic should be able to do a reading even if you don't have questions, but it just makes it easier on us. And then your money goes further, I feel like. And I always find that people that don't have questions, towards the end, like 45 minutes in, that's when they start thinking of all these questions, and then we don't have time to get to them all. So definitely think about what you want to know beforehand. My last piece of advice is just to know that psychics should be able to lead the way. You know, if you've never done this before, it's okay. Trust them. They probably know what they're doing. They've done it before. And they're going to lead the way and tell you what to do. So these are just a few helpful hints of how you can better prepare. And again, it's painless. It's fun. And I find that I've never had one person say, well, at least to my face, that they're never going to get a reading again. And I think that I absolutely love reading people for the first time ever, because I'll give them just very surface level information. We won't get too far into it, and they're just like, oh, my mind is blown. And I love those readings. So again, trust, be open, have a good time, and just know that at the end of the day, if it doesn't resonate with you, you can throw it out the window. It's totally fine. And if you also want to know a little bit more about what to look out for, what a good psychic is versus a bad psychic, check out my video about that, and that can help you sort of look out for those red flags if you're worried about them. So if you're a psychic or an intuitive out there, I'm curious what you guys think. Do you have any other suggestions of what you like to see people have done before they come into a reading? I know these are my things, but I'm curious if there's anything else out there that you think could help them better prepare for a reading. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please subscribe, and remember, at the end of the day, even if the reading doesn't work out, or if it does work out, to trust your own intuition.